Gentlemen, let me start with something that most men never truly grasp. There isn't just one way to touch a woman. There are very specific areas of her body that trigger deep emotional responses, often long before any physical reaction occurs. Thoughtful. And here's the truth. Most men only know a couple of these areas, if that. I've spent over 2 decades as a relationship psychologist working with couples at every stage of life. And today, I want to share what I wish every man could understand. No fluff, no empty promises, just insights grounded in psychology, neuroscience, and real-world experience. Curious? Ask yourself this: do you really know how a woman wants to be touched? I'm not talking about the obvious places most men think of. I mean the areas that open her emotionally, the gestures that make her feel truly understood before her body even responds. Many men will say, I know my partner really well, and yet when I pose this question, there's usually silence. Pause. Why? Because no one ever explains this clearly. There's no instruction manual. And even when women feel these needs deeply, they don't always put them into words. Instead, they express themselves through subtle cues, through posture, through eye contact, through tiny gestures that most men completely miss. Today, I want to introduce you to 7 key zones, but understand this: these aren't just physical areas, they are emotional gateways. When you know how to approach them, your touch stops being just a physical act. It becomes a language of connection, a form of communication that clarifies, reassures, and deepens intimacy. After more than 20 years of working with couples, one truth keeps repeating itself. Most men rely on instinct. They assume that touching the right spot will automatically generate pleasure. But for women, pleasure doesn't start mechanically. It starts with emotional safety. Many men think they're doing the right thing, but from a woman's perspective, the contact often feels one-sided. You may have wondered why she doesn't respond the way she used to, or why her reactions have changed over time. The answer is simpler than most men imagine. What men take for granted rarely sparks emotion for women. Women don't respond to stimulation alone. They respond to intention, awareness, and presence. When a woman senses with her entire being that you genuinely care, her body follows. Here's the tricky part. Women don't always tell you what they need. They show you. One former patient shared something with me that has stuck ever since. Don't touch me just to touch me. Let me feel that you're really present first. That sentence captures the essence of what many women experience. This isn't about mechanical contact. It's about opening a psychological door first, creating trust, and connecting emotionally before anything else. Zone 1 starts with the hands. Your hands can be so much more than limbs. They can communicate care, presence, and understanding. When used intentionally, they become a language of connection, telling her without words that you see her, that you understand her, that you're fully here with her. Everything else follows naturally from that. Let's start with an area that most men completely underestimate: the hands. A woman's hands are deeply tied to her emotional world. When you hold them slowly, gently, with intention, you're touching far more than skin. A soft stroke along her fingers, a calm, warm pressure in her palm, can create a profound sense of being understood. Over the years, I've noticed something very clear. Couples who continue holding hands even after decades together maintain a far stronger emotional bond. This isn't by chance. Touching hands releases oxytocin, the hormone of trust and connection, yet so many men overlook this simple detail. Several women have told me that neglected hands can completely break the moment. Clean, warm, well-cared-for hands make an enormous difference. Next is the nape of the neck, right at the hairline, a place where tension accumulates without her even realizing it. When you touch this area slowly and gently, without words or expectation, her body begins to relax. This isn't about stimulation, it's about soothing and creating trust. I remember a man in his late 50s who felt invisible in his marriage. One evening, with no agenda, he placed his hand lightly on his wife's neck as she stood by the window. She paused, exhaled, and turned toward him. That small, simple gesture reopened a connection they thought they'd lost. The lower back between the waist and hips represents stability. Rest your hands here without holding or restraining, simply warm and present, and you communicate safety, freedom, and support. It works in everyday moments, in the kitchen, in the morning, in silence. No words are necessary. Your presence speaks for itself. Behind the ear, beneath the jawline, is highly sensitive but only accessible when trust exists. Gentle warmth, light pressure, and attentiveness make her feel valued, not objectified. For many women, feeling valued comes long before feeling desired. Between the shoulder blades is an area most men overlook. Psychologically, it represents protection. When your hand rests there gently, it reassures her. Her nervous system slows, her mind softens. This touch is not sexual, and that's precisely why it is so powerful. The inner thighs near the knees are another transitional zone. This is not intimate, it's suggestive, yet respectful. When approached slowly, it says, "I am close and I honor your pace." Skipping this step is where many men lose emotional trust. Finally, the lower abdomen around the navel is often the most surprising. This area connects instinct and emotion. Your hand here must be sincere, slow, and warm, as if handling something precious. When a woman allows this, she is offering not just her body, but her inner world. These zones work because women process touch both emotionally and neurologically. They aren't erogenous zones. They are emotional sensors. Touching them communicates, "I see you. You're safe." Practical guidance is simple. Slow down, observe her reactions, use these touches in everyday moments, and remain mentally present. Consistency matters. One man recently told me, "I didn't know what changed, but she felt closer." That's the point. Women often can't identify what changed, they just feel it. These 7 zones are not buttons to press. They are doors. Every time you touch them with sincerity, you're saying, "I see you. I respect you. You matter." And that is what women truly crave. Connection, not performance, presence over pressure. It's never too late to start. Sometimes just one conscious touch can open a completely new chapter in a relationship.